my ex-husband, and I have a good co-parenting dynamic, and we actually became pretty good friends after our divorce, but recently he got a new girlfriend, and she is against the idea of us being friends at all, and now I feel bad because my ex is pulling away. Lawrence and I were married for 7 years before we realized we'd become better roommates than partners. The love was still there, just not the romantic kind. We'd become best friends who shared a bed, and eventually we admitted that wasn't fair to either of us. The divorce was mutual and amicable. We had 2 kids together, Theo, who's 9, and Maisie, who's 7, and we promised each other that no matter what, they would always come first. We spent months in therapy learning how to separate our marriage while preserving our family. For 3 years after the split, we nailed co-parenting. We lived 10 minutes apart on purpose. We'd grab coffee during kid exchanges and actually talk about our lives. We'd sit together at school events so the kids never had to choose which parent to look for. We even had family dinners sometimes because the kids loved it and we genuinely enjoyed each other's company. People thought it was weird. My friends said I was being too nice and needed to move on. His friends said the same to him. My own mother questioned whether we were secretly still together, but we'd figured out something rare. We'd figured out how to be family without being married, and it worked beautifully. Then 6 months ago, Lawrence started dating Britta. I was happy for him at first. He deserved someone who could love him the way I couldn't anymore. I told him to bring her to Theo's birthday party so I could meet her. She declined. He said she wasn't ready yet. That was fine. I understood new relationships were delicate, but then things started changing. Lawrence stopped coming inside during exchanges. He'd text when he arrived instead of knocking like always. He started sitting on the opposite side of the auditorium at school plays. Our weekly coffee catch-ups stopped entirely. He'd rush through conversations and avoid eye contact. One day, after an awkward exchange where he practically threw the kids' backpacks at me and sprinted back to his car, I asked him directly, "Is everything okay? You seem really distant." He looked uncomfortable. Britta thinks our friendship is inappropriate. She says it's weird that we spend so much time together and that it's not normal for exes. We spend time together for the kids. Everything we do is about Theo and Maisie. I know that, but she doesn't see it that way. She's uncomfortable with how close we are. She comes from a divorced family where her parents were at each other's throats, and she doesn't understand how we can be friendly without something else going on. I wanted to be understanding. Britta had her own trauma that shaped how she viewed relationships, but I also watched 3 years of careful relationship building start crumbling because someone felt insecure about something that had nothing to do with her. The family dinner stopped completely. Theo asked why Daddy didn't eat with us anymore, and I had to make up excuses. Maisie asked if Daddy was mad at me because he never came inside anymore. I said no and changed the subject before she could see me cry. Last month, Britta finally agreed to meet me at a school event. She was polite but cold. Every time I tried to have a normal conversation with Lawrence, she'd physically step between us or steer him away. When Theo ran over to hug us both after his soccer game, she visibly stiffened and crossed her arms. After the game, she pulled Lawrence aside. I couldn't hear what she said, but I watched his face fall. He came over looking defeated. Britta thinks we should only communicate through a co-parenting app from now on. No more texts, no more casual conversations, just logistics about the kids. Lawrence, that's going to affect Theo and Maisie. They notice everything. I know, but I need to make this relationship work. I can't keep choosing the past over my future. That hit me hard. I wasn't his past. I was the mother of his children and someone who'd worked incredibly hard to build something healthy from the wreckage of our marriage. I wasn't competition. I was family. I agreed to the app because fighting would only make things worse, but I watched my kids notice every difference. They felt the tension at exchanges. They stopped talking about Daddy's house as much. Last week, Maisie asked me why Britta doesn't like me. I told her that sometimes adults have complicated feelings and it wasn't anyone's fault. But privately, I grieve for what we built and what's being destroyed because one person couldn't handle a healthy dynamic she'd never seen before.